it's Harry again from Screen Arts, and this short video will just show you how to use keyframes within your video effects. So just like the last video, I showed you how to apply effects to your clips. In this video, I'm going to show you how to animate those effects. So if we dial the Gaussian blur right back, as well as the texture, let's just take the texture off for a moment and work with the Gaussian blur. So we can move our workspace around, and this is sort of what we want to be looking at. This is our keyframe timeline, and this corresponds to the timeline down the bottom. If I move this across, you can see the timeline down here move as well. And so this is sort of like a closed-in clip of what I've selected here. This is used for animating and changing the variables within your effects. So let's say I want this to start clean and not blurry. On my Gaussian effect, I've got to toggle the animation here. So I'm going to click that and make sure that that's on 0. Let's just say I want to, at about 2 minutes and 40 seconds, I want it to start to get blurry. And I put my keyframe here, and then I adjust and toggle it up here. As you can see, this is the line of the effect, the blurriness. And if I play this back, we can see it'll slightly to get more blurry and more blurry. So it's starting to get more blurry now. Now I can add multiple keyframes along this timeline. Let's adjust it here. Adjust it there. Add it in here. So we can do it the way I'm doing it now by adjusting it here, or we can click on these frames and we can move it down like this. So this shows the velocity of our effects. So as well as stacking effects, we can do this to all of our variables within our effects. So we can do this on blur dimensions as well. And if I pull back the texture, we can do this to the light direction and the texture contrast. So let's put some texture keyframes in there too. So now we've got Gaussian blur effects going and now texture contrast effects going. So let's just play that back. Great, so that was just a little quick tutorial about keyframes. Just to reiterate, we can use keyframes on pretty much all of our effects. So we can change the scale and use keyframes that way. So let's just do that quickly now. And this is a classic zoom in method. We can change the rotation. So let's just play back now. So as you can see, it's zooming in, it's getting blurrier, getting more textured, and we're rotating. Now, because I've added a lot of effects, the CPU and Premiere Pro can't really keep up with that without rendering the file. So as we can see here again, that it's red on our timeline. So if we press enter, that'll render the video, and then we'll be able to play that back smoothly. So we can see that it's rendered and now the timeline's green and we can play that back smoothly. So those are some pretty trippy effects there. Have a play around with keyframes. And remember, keyframes is a great way to animate your effects. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.